product that we're very proud of. We love that we are getting more involved with helping suppliers fight compliance fines these days. And this is our this is our flagship compliance product that we're going to be getting into today, talking a little about how to kind of track your OTIF scores and even dispute some OTIF fines in app. So that's what we'll be doing today. This is us. We are content coordinators on the Supplier Wiki team. Allie is the lead of our team, and I am a peon of the content coordinators. But we create the content. We create the articles. We create the webinars. We're here to create free educational resources for y'all. So let us know what we can do. Let us know what we're missing, what are the gaps in your business's education, and how can we help fill those in? All right, so Supplier Wiki is a part of SupplyPike, and SupplyPike is basically a SaaS company, software as a service company. And what we're trying to do, our goal is to help CPGs just with all forms of revenue loss in the supply chain process, right? So from beginning to end, how can we help you guys not lose money unjustly to invalid fines and deductions? So that's kind of our main goal. And the way that we do that is through AI and our software, which helps to kind of automatically detect and comb databases for the right materials to successfully dispute fines, and among other things too. Again, track your progress, look for pain points, and all that. So we're trusted by over 400 CPGs, and we've represented proudly more than $25 billion in retail impact. So we're really proud of the people that we work with, and some of their names are here for y'all to see. These are some of the CPGs that we're very proud of working with, that we've been able to help win back a lot of money, especially from the likes of Walmart. So as we always like to say, hopefully we could see you up there someday as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Peter. And just to kind of piggyback off of what Peter was saying, we are talking about one of our Walmart solutions today called OTIF Radar, which we're about to dive into here in a second. But for other retailers like Amazon, Target, Kroger, we have solutions for deductions under Deductions Navigator. And then we also have solutions for gathering, storing, and saving shipping documents for over 100 plus shipping portal integrations. So we've got a lot of great tools. We're going to be focusing on Walmart today, specifically Walmart's compliance program. So if those sound interesting to you, go hop on one of our other fast pitch videos. You can find those on YouTube or on supplierwiki.com. And again, we have a suite of products that we get to work across the box with some great suppliers. So if you are a part of that, then I'd be excited to see you in the future. All right, let's get into it. But before we do, we wanted to call out another compliance program called SQAP at Walmart. That stands for Supplier Quality Excellence Program. We're having an event on March 29th at 7:30 and 9:30 a.m. the Supply Chain Hall of Fame. So if you're local to the Northwest Arkansas area, come on down. But essentially, this event is about the other half of Walmart's compliance program outside of OTIF called SQAP. And we're going to have myself and one of our product team leads, his name is Parker Johnson, and we're going to be talking through some of our data that we have on SQAP fines. So we've collected some data from some of the suppliers we work with, again, 400 plus suppliers. And we've realized that there are 5 really common SQEP fines. We're going to go over what those are and how you can actually dispute those manually by yourself. But we also will be talking about our newest product that will be launching, I believe, at the beginning of Q2. So we're almost there in April. We're going to have a SQAP product that will look and feel similar to our other products like OTIF Radar. We're going to have visibility to root cause analysis for issues. And then eventually in the next quarter, that SQAP product will have disputing features. So you can dispute those high radius SQAP fines in one place and see everything. So If your team is thinking about SWEP fines, if that's an issue, I would highly suggest tuning into this event. We have a live stream, which you can find under upcoming webinars. So it'll look more like a webinar if you were signing up for that. But if you come in person, you get access to free educational content. We have printed out books, kind of similar to the one you can see behind me. We've got breakfast, and you can also connect with other suppliers who are dealing with similar issues and talk to our experts live. So if you make it in person or online, I'll be excited to see you because I will be there. And without further ado, let's get into OTIF Radar. So before we hop into the demo of the actual product, I just wanted to call out the high points that we'll be overviewing today. Again, if you're newer to the space, if you're new to Walmart, or if you're new to the OTIF program, that is a supply chain compliance program at Walmart. And OTIF stands for on time and in full. And how Walmart measures their excellence in supply chain is on those two metrics. Is your product coming at the time that Walmart and you agreed upon? So is it on time? Is it in that MABD window? And then that second part is in full. Did you ship the right product in the right amount? So if you are less than 98%, which is kind of Walmart's baseline, and they have increased that, I believe they increased that in 2021, I want to say. It's only been a couple years. They increased it to 98%, which is pretty high. And again, this is just for US. If you have interest in Canada OTIF, you can go and look at our Canada versus US comparison webinar. We have that. Peter can probably share the link for that. But again, we're really just talking about US OTIF program. If you fall under that 98%, you're going to see a 3% cost of goods fine. And Walmart's fines are broken out into a couple different functions, one of those being AP. So that's going to be an accounts payable deduction, where you're actually going to receive a subtraction or deduction off of an invoice, and you'll wonder, why did I get that? And you'll look it up in APIS or see an APDP. Oh, okay, it's a code 22. I didn't ship the full amount that I would say. So there's a little bit of overlap in the two programs. But with OTIF, OTIF is under the AR or accounts receivable fines. So those are considered AR fines in the world of Walmart. If you're coming from a different retailer, it may be different. But essentially, these are going to be additional fines that you owe Walmart, and those will be essentially projected, and you can see your kind of your scorecard in Retail Link's OTIF scorecard, and then you'll go on to HighRadius to actually dispute those or pay those depending on their validity. So here's a couple of the things that OTIF Radar actually does, and we'll kind of walk through this, but I did want to point out this is not a application you can find on Retail Link. Sometimes we do get questions because the names are similar. Walmart has in Retail Link something called OTIF Scorecard, which is where you kind of track your progress, see how you're measuring to that 98%. OTIF Radar is not related to any of the Retail Link products, except for the fact that it pulls in data from Retail Link, and you can actually see everything in one place, and it pulls from a couple other sources. And we'll get into that here in a second. But essentially, instead of looking at, your scorecard and HighRadius and maybe a portal from your carrier, you have to kind of combine all of those things together. With OTIF Radar, that's a SupplyPike solution. It aggregates all of that together. It allows you to kind of see it all on one dashboard. It actually has business logic baked into it, so you don't have to make too many decisions. There's a lot of actionable insights sitting right there. And then when you're ready to take action, whether that's disputing because you have invalid fines, or it comes down to, hey, this is a valid fine, you can either help find the data to pass that on to a carrier, or troubleshoot with a DC, or you can create those programs that'll help you move the needle to get back into compliance with Walmart. So with that, let's go ahead and get into the application. All right, so basically this is a web-based tool. So you just log in online, and then you're able to access the dashboard. So when you first hit the dashboard, you'll come to this page and you'll be able to see your fines over time and your compliance trends. And I want to call out here, this is all demo data. So you'll notice there's like some of the dates are a little bit, they're not up to date, but if you're coming to app, it's going to be up to date because we actually pull in our resources from the OTIF scorecard, from HighRadius, from carrier portals, other areas of Retail Link that are applicable, kind of create all of this data that you're seeing here. And we pull that in daily for all of our apps across all of our customers. So you'll get the most accurate information, which is really important to Walmart. Really quick call out, if you did miss the supplier growth forum, we have notes that we're sharing on our website, and Peter can link those in the chat. But essentially something that I read from that was, data is stale when it first comes out. Like as soon as it's released, it kind of becomes stale, and that's Walmart's words, not mine. So this is really helpful because you're getting the most up-to-date information and not having to pull 6, 7, 14 reports for all of the data you need to make these decisions. So like I said, we get this data from Retail Link. You could pull this yourself, but we're trying to save suppliers the hours that are needed to go make decisions and move the needle on their business. So yeah, we pull data every day. And then as you're looking at this is fines over time. So you can actually see the actual fines that you were given between in full and on time. And if you are a mix of both prepaid and collect, this can also show you your collect and your prepaid and your in full for on time. So I'm just in our prepaid demo account, so it's going to show that. But if you do ship collect, I know a lot of Walmart suppliers are moving to collect because of some of the programs they've initiated, then you can also see that data. But it's really helpful to just track that over time to see, if the things that you are doing to improve your OTIF scores are working. And then this one's really cool. So let's pretend that this is the next month and we're projected to see these fines. You can see your expected fines. So the way the OTIF program works, Walmart gives you basically a 1-month window to dispute, because they'll post the projected fines onto the OTIF scorecard, and you kind of can see what is going to be in compliance or what will be out of compliance. And that gives you time to follow up with your buyer and get those waived, or have a conversation to say, hey, these are just inaccurate. But if you miss that mark of when they're posted to HighRadius, you have about 2 weeks to dispute. And then it's going to be a little bit harder to dispute based on just timeliness and proof documentation. But essentially you have a 1-month turnaround every month to dispute new expected fines. So in the supplier world, that is not a very long time with all the other things that are going on. So this is really helpful to just pull this data quickly, be able to see what's going on, and then you can actually scroll down and see what these numbers look like, the possible invalid fines. We kind of have this baked in. And again, if you are forgetting what these different sections mean, you can kind of highlight, see, the 3% of costs of goods is going to be expected. That's where that number is coming from. And if you fail to meet that goal, you're going to get a fine issued. So it's really easy for veteran suppliers and new suppliers to use OTIF Radar. Another thing that's just helpful is just seeing this historical performance overall and the PO accountability. So you've got, your cases ordered, cases received, unfilled, just really quick numbers that are helpful for presenting to your full team or cross-functional teams when it comes to understanding the severity of OTIF problems. And then again, you can see the PO accountability from OTIF total to the manual POs, prepaid late delivery, and it's sorted between what's Walmart accountable and supplier accountable cases, which is really helpful when it comes to actually disputing and what is on the table for Walmart to actually address. So super helpful stuff. And again, you can toggle between stuff really quickly to see different data. You've got, months versus weeks, and then, you can filter time periods and different things up here as well. Let's go into the analysis tab. I wanted to kind of spend some time talking about this because this is really cool to see the viewpoints that we have for OTIF. So you can actually click into all of these or pull your own custom segment to view your OTIF business in the seat of your carriers or your DC destinations, items, vendor numbers, etc. So we'll actually spend a little bit more time in carriers because this is usually what excites our potential customers the most, is getting into carriers, because you can actually view all of your carriers and how they're performing. And again, this is dummy data, so we are going to pick on some of the carriers here, but again, this is not true to their performance. But if you're just looking, you can see, you can filter from, okay, these prepaid carriers are doing really great. These maybe not so much. What's going on here? You can see the expected fines that are attributed to those carriers, delivered cases, etc., all that data. If we wanted to see a little bit more about, let's say, Becker Logistics here, we could just click in, and then you can actually see the fines over time that are attributed to that specific supplier and all of the data. That's just really easy to access, especially when you're having those accountability conversations with your suppliers, your carriers. So it's just really easy to view, overall scorecard, what's going on at a high level, but then even drilling down into the nitty gritty and seeing what are the compliance issues that are attributed to each PO number and which carrier was delivering those. So we'll click back to the carriers and try to think of a couple other things I wanted to mention here. This is not data you can get out of the OTIF scorecard. So this is something you would have to pull from your own portals or depending on what other information you have, and sort that together and kind of piece it together. But again, this is not available on the OTIF scorecard. And we just saw how easy it was to do 2 clicks and get to Becker Logistics and kind of understand what was going on with that carrier. Another call out I wanted to make is you'll see these download buttons. You can download basically anything from any of these little areas here. So if you want to manipulate that data yourself or send it to someone or use it however you'd like, it's really easy to pull, very quick to look at. So again, just more ways to slice and dice the data. You can do this as % across what cases are late versus on time. You can see volume instead of %, which can just be helpful for however your team wants to slice and dice that. And then you can see that for the in full performance as well. All right. Then we're going to go ahead and click into purchase orders. So this is really cool to see because, again, you're not having to go into Retail Link and open 7 different tabs and look at your PO numbers and dig in. Those are helpful, but really we pull that data in so you can just see it all in one place. And we have some pretty powerful filters here that can help you understand what you want to go after, what you want to look at, what's the most helpful, your PO types, which we just released a really cool resource in Supplier Wiki called the Walmart Distribution Cheat Sheets. So if you're confused about PO types, I would go check that out. And you can just filter with all these different things. And let's say we wanted to search like a certain PO number that would be available to us here, but you can sort by all those powerful filters we showed before. If I wanted to go ahead and dispute, I could do that here as well. And I can click, here's the prepaid late delivery, and I want to dispute all of these. Click that. And then if I have the correct documentation, the software makes it really easy for users to understand when they can actually dispute something. So we're in a demo company, so we actually can't dispute because it's not linked to a high radius account, but you could dispute 35 POs right there. And when it comes to attaching proof documentation, we do that for you. So we have our software automatically just pulls your either BOLs or your PODs and attaches those to the POs needed. So you have less time searching for those PDF documents that have your BOLs or your PODs. You're not spending time doing that. You're just reviewing it. You're using the validity check that OTIF Radar provides. You're applying some of your logic that you have built in, and then it's really easy to dispute. So just a couple clicks. And let's say, you're coming back after, you've disputed and you want to view what has been accepted and what's been not approved or is pending. You can see your win rate overall. And you can actually click into these and see, here's how a file would be auto attached, and you can download that or view it. You can download the OTIF invoice PDF. Just really easy to find everything that you need in one place. So yeah, that's basically what I had. Again, we have integrations with 150 carriers. Questions about getting on trial, we have usually about a 1 to 2 week trial period where you can dispute for free. Other companies that go after either compliance fines or deductions usually charge a percentage of your size of prize. So anything you win back, they're going to say, well, we get 10% of that, or whatever the number is. SupplyPike, we do things differently. Essentially, there's going to be a number that is agreed upon and you pay that monthly subscription. So if you win $10 or you win $10 million, you get to keep that money. You're only owing us for using the service on a monthly subscription that'll be agreed upon in a contract. So it's a little bit easier to use, and that it's worth it to go after all the money that you can go after. With OTIF and the OTIF program, HighRadius allows you to go back 13 months. So you might as well go back and do that either manually or get on one of our trials and see, hey, I'm looking at the dashboard and I have 100% or 98%. I'm doing great. Give yourself a pat on the back, download the reports and just, high five your team. But if you're not at 98%, there's really cool things to help make actionable plans for valid fines that you're receiving. And then you can go ahead and dispute those invalid fines for free in your week trial, and you won't owe us a thing, which is really cool. I did say that we have 150 carriers. I also wanted to call out that if you are interested on any of the use cases for SupplyPike products, you can go ahead and see those at our website. But at this point, I'll just toggle back to take some questions. If Peter, there are any. If not, I have a couple other things I could share.
We have no questions right now, so feel free.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so like I said, we've got a couple other resources for if you are interested in disputing your OTIF claims manually. Peter, if you could go ahead and share some of the ones I've mentioned, but also we've got the OTIF, the Ultimate Guide OTIF. It's an ebook that you can download, and it kind of gives the ins and outs of the OTIF process and how you can successfully dispute that. Those disputes we've seen on average with people before they use SupplyPike are about 20 to 30 minutes, depending on their expertise or, where did that BOL go? Where did that POD go? Searching for proof documentation. With SupplyPike, like you saw, it takes basically maybe 2 to 3 minutes. But again, really excited that I got to share this with everyone here today. I don't think I have very much else besides that, but Peter, I'll go ahead and roll us over to this slide. If you do have questions, and I'm not seeing any coming in the chat, we're almost to time. Please reach out to Peter or I, whether that's if you need access to some kind of content that you can't find, a question that you have about OTIF or any of the other Walmart, Target, Amazon, Kroger, you name it, we probably know where to find it. Please send that our way. We'd love to chat with you. We love helping suppliers. And then if you are interested in a demo or a trial, you can either connect with our team on supplypike.com. There's a little button that says schedule a demo, and you can do that. Or if you want to talk to a real person, I can also connect you, or Peter can connect you with the team that does that. So these are our emails. And if there are no questions, then I will go ahead and end us 3 minutes early.